as I said, my mum's interior design company, I think was paying me like £18,000 a year, like really not a lot at all.
Yeah.
So that was definitely not going to be like my long-term future.
Exactly.
So I was like, okay, well, maybe I can start offering services. And I did all sorts of things, to try and get clients on the side. I joined like networking groups and tried a bunch of stuff to work out myself. So I did, and I probably did that for a good 18 months whilst I'm working full-time on my mum's business. And then all my extra time is on trying to find clients to sell Google ads and Facebook ad services too. And then that turned into full time around about 7 years ago now. When I had enough clients to be able to pay the bills if I went and did that. By then I'd moved out my parents' house. I was living with my girlfriend, now wife, in London, so needed to be able to do that. And so started Facebook ads agency. Well, it was Google and Facebook initially. Got that fully sort of launched about 7 years ago, and it's done well since.
Very interesting. Already a few points where I would like to hook in and ask additional questions, like, for example, the first customers. As you know, the saying goes, the first customer is the hardest to get, the second hardest is the second customer. How did you approach your very first customers for those people? Because just so you know, many people that watch my stuff are like at the startup phase. They're beginners. Usually not many of them are agency owners themselves, but more startups that want to learn, okay, at the beginning, as you said, I have to do everything on my own, or most stuff, and the team is very small. So they try to learn what is important. Should I do this, X or Y or Z? And it's like, how do I get my first customers? Should I do a Google campaign? Should I do Facebook? Should I go to physical events like networking, shaking hands, sharing cards? It's like, how did you do it for the first few people? And if I may ask, little sets. Back then, it was new, much new than it is nowadays. So how did you convince the people that it would be worth it to do it? Was it like, did the customers already know it? Were they greedy for it? Or was it like a lot of teaching, a lot of getting the minds ready to accept that this could be something that could help them in business?
Yeah, that's interesting. So how did I go about doing it? And this is probably what I'd recommend to a lot of people when they're getting started, is I tried everything, because I think any strategy that could be used, for example, in that business to acquire clients can work. But you have to find what sort of naturally fits you and that you enjoy doing. So like, I tried going to networking events, but I hate that. I find that just boring and brutal, and you talk to people and most people you speak to don't have any money, so they can't work with you anyway. And, it can be a waste of time, but other things suited me quite well. Right. So the first few clients I got there was no one way where I sort of got a client that way. So I remember the very first client I got, obviously other than my mum's interior design company, was a hairdressers nearby, where I didn't know them, but like they were close by, so I could sort of I knew of the business, and I went in one day and sort of had a bit of a chat, and we got it was one of those where I think I maybe charged £150 a month to run a campaign for them, like next to nothing, right? It was just, you could almost see they were like, okay, sure, you can go ahead and you can run the campaigns and give it a go. I think it was £150 a month on me, £150 a month on the ads. Didn't cost them much. They were like, let's give it a go. So I just sort of I did everything. I remember offering, I ran ads myself. I think that's an underutilized way in the agency space of getting clients. It shows a lot of credibility. It demonstrates credibility and expertise if you can get people to see your ads and immediately go, oh, okay, well, at least they put an ad in front of me, so they know what they're talking about. So I ran ads on Facebook. I ran ads on Google a little bit, and just got a few clients that way. You get a handful, you get a few more referrals. But it was years before I ever worked out anything like consistent that you could build a business around. It was all little bits. Here and there. There was a second part to your question. What was the second part again? I've forgotten.
How ready were the customers for it? Because
that's interesting. So on the Google ad side of things, this is 2013. That's pretty well established, right? People know about AdWords. That was pretty comfortable. And what I did initially is I got them as Google Ads clients, and then sort of talked them into running campaigns on Facebook as well once they were already signed up, because Facebook was the new thing then. It was the thing they weren't sure about. And that worked better. Now, for many, many years, my agency was just Facebook ads. So I did make that transition away from Google. And recently we've started offering Google ad services as well. But for, 5-6 years, it was just Facebook ads. So Facebook ads is sort of where it went. But initially it was very much both. And the Google side of things was the easier in because people were a lot more familiar with it. It'd be different now, right? Like loads of businesses know that Facebook ads is a viable option for running campaigns.
If you like this clip, leave a like and subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see another clip, click here. Or if you want to see the whole interview, click here.